here I have my, I'm going to put its name on the screen. I've got two of these, but this is my mix it up socks. Oh, it comes out really great on camera. I'm really happy. Okay, these film socks, which look fantastic, but do not fit. Hello, welcome back to my craft podcast. I'm Zoe, if you don't know me, and here I talk about knitting, sewing. Today we've just got knitting, although I did make this top that I'm wearing right now. Sewing, and it's got a little back tie there. Yeah, I haven't filmed a video in a little while because I am now in my apartment, which I have recently bought and moved into. So there has been, it's been a little bit slower progress on the making front. But I do have 3 finished objects to share, all knitting and work in progress at the moment. And I got, 2 acquisitions, I think. So I do have a little bit to show you today. The first one I'm going to show you is something I worked really hard on towards the end of winter. I haven't worn it yet. I still have to block it, but here I have my, I'm going to put its name on the screen because I forgot the, what's it called? The Nordstrand pullover. It's a free pattern and it's really lovely. I'm super happy to have this finished. I did a low contrast. I changed the end a little bit here. So I did this low contrast color. We got this beautiful darker purple and a light purple to make the pattern there. I kept to the pattern except for at the end here. I split into a split hem rather than, so I've got the back a little bit longer than the front. A split hem rather than, I think the pattern just calls for the hem with no split and the same sort of ribbing. I also did a little bit of, I copied my champagne cardigan for the ribbing length on the arms because I really love that length. So I was super stoked to have this finished. And very happy with the result. I will have to block it and stretch it a little bit. It looks fine. It's a little bit tight though, and I'd like it a little bit looser, especially around the arms here. And you can see here it needs a little bit of blocking out. I've kind of had it scrunched up for a couple of weeks. I haven't blocked it yet, so I'll probably get into doing that this weekend. But yeah, it was a really nice process. The pattern's lovely, and even better that it's free. So I'd highly recommend this pattern. I did have some moments where I had to redo stuff. So I went to a concert at one point and had to pull back because I had switched the, what had I done? Yeah, I had switched the purple with the lighter purple, the pink, halfway through around here. So that where it's light purple now, it was dark purple, and I was thinking it was looking a little bit strange towards the end there. But yeah, so I had to rip that back. And then I did this again and I split for sleeves and got to about here on the sleeves, on one sleeve anyway, and realized that I hadn't done the second of these. So then I had to go all the way back to this point here again and start this again. I think that first time that I redid it, I actually went back all the way up to the front because I realized that my color dominance, I watched a video on color dominance and realized I was doing it incorrectly. So I wanted to, since I was gonna redo a fair bit anyway, I went back to the start and yeah, just made it proper. So quite proud of this one. Very excited to block it and wear it. We've got only a couple of colder days left. I think we're coming into summer in Melbourne, so but we've always got those cold snap nights where I can wear this, so I'm sure I will get to wear it. Yeah, if I find that I'm touching my hair a little bit, I just got a haircut today, so it's yeah, a bit all over the place, but yeah, super happy with this. There is, okay, I really liked I'll talk about the yarn. I'll have to put its name on the screen. It was Wild, I can't remember, but I do have its name somewhere and I'll put it on the screen. I was really happy with the yarn, and for most of it, I gotta say the experience of knitting with it wasn't that great. I like how it comes out and feels, and it makes this color work look really great. But I finally understood what people meant when they said a yarn felt sticky. It didn't really slide along the needles very nicely, and there was lots of pulling it around, even on metal needles. So yeah, it was a bit of a sticky wool, which wasn't a problem. The thing that I didn't like at the end though, so I got through all the balls. I think I had 6 balls including this color, and then I was on maybe my 7th, so I can't remember how many balls I used. So it was either 6 all up or 7, with this much left over. But this last ball, it was quite consistent through the rest of it. There was a little bit of slubbing, like some thinner bits and some thicker bits, but it didn't really impact the actual pattern or the net. Maybe I'll hold this up and you can see, like, it's quite even until we get to the end here. And thank goodness it was, if this had have been the whole balls, I would have been very unhappy. Or if I had have accident, like I didn't know until the end that I'd left this one for the end. Like I didn't know anything about the ball. It seemed fine. But luckily it was the last ball, because otherwise I would have had the inconsistency. I'll show you what it looks like at the ribbing. Do you see these bits that are a lot thicker? It's hard to find like a bit that's really noticeable on camera. You can see even here to here, like between this one and the next, there's a thickness difference, or especially here. So I think this was when I started the balls. It's hard to show. See this bit here, you can see these really thick bits. I don't know, they're kind of they stick out a lot more in person, those thick bits, and then it goes really thin. And actually even there you can see, just it's, at least in the ribbing, it's kind of gets hidden. The actual fabric for the rest of it with the other balls looks fine. But this, I was really disappointed, and honestly with the stickiness and this, it's not a yarn I would repurchase. Especially like this ball in any other circumstance, it's almost unusable. I'll show you what I mean here. So it gets super thin at some points, and then it goes quite quickly into this thickness. You can see the difference there. And this happens like it changes. You can see all the difference of thickness that we have there. And even if I bring this one up again, it's just random and super thick at some points. This isn't even the worst part that I've seen of it. It gets like to almost light fingering. That's super thin. That's like as my fingering weight yarn. And then it's supposed to be a DK, and then we've got these thick sections right next to you can see maybe between these two, and sometimes they were right next to each other. See the thicknesses, the range of thicknesses we have there, and this isn't even much of the ball, and it was every 20 centimeters I was having these problems. So I was pretty disappointed in that, and very lucky that it was just the last ball that I happened to use had the bad quality. So I wouldn't risk purchasing this yarn again. I'm very happy that I've used it. Like for the majority of the sweater, it was fine. There was no issues. The stickiness isn't my favorite, but it gives a really good color work performance, I think, and it's really nice and warm. It's 100% wool, but yeah, I'm really not happy with that last ball. It kind of ruined it. I thought about, this would be maybe something I'd consider rebuying. I think the stickiness would probably make me search for some other yarns before I'd go back, but now I don't think I would trust to go back. Yeah, but happy I have a beautiful project out of this. I've got to weave in the ends, as you can see here. There's a few ends to weave in, and then I will block it. And at the moment it's quite tight. Like, it's not skin tight, but it is, there's probably only a couple of centimeters of ease. And it's lays across my body quite a lot. So blocking it, I'm going to give it quite an aggressive block and stretched out, and I think it will be perfect then. So I've made it, the length is about hip height at the back, so that is my first finished object. My second finished object is a pair of socks. I have the other one in the, I don't know, bath. I'm washing it at the moment, and I'll block it on the other. I've got two of these, but this is my mix it up socks, and I've just used this fun colourful yarn. They were 20-gram mini skeins. Again, I put the detail. I'm not great at remembering all the specific details off the top of my head, so I'll put that in the description box. The information will all be there. But yeah, I'm happy with how these have turned out. I think they're just a classic little pair. It was a ton of ends to weave in, which wasn't the most fun. But I spent the last night and today doing that a little bit. But I'm happy to have another pair of socks. The next pair of socks I think that I'm gonna make, well, okay, the next pair of socks for me that I'm gonna make, I think, are going to be easy stocking net socks, just your basic socks. Because yeah, I'm kind of missing that. I just want a small, like, basic pattern to cast on. Either that, or I know the next two big projects that I'm gonna, and one of them is gonna be fingering weight. Fingering weight for I'm gonna make blouse number 1 and petite knits cumulus blouse. So I'm gonna make those two, and that's gonna be a lot of stocking knit. So maybe I will go and do a more interesting pattern sock if I put those on the needles. But yeah, I'm really happy to have another pair of socks for myself. I've now got 3 pairs that I've made for myself, and yeah, I just want to build up a little sock drawer of handmade socks. So this is my second finished object, and yeah, the other one's over there. My third is actually a present. I went to my friend's wedding in India at the start of the year, which was amazing, and I was trying to find him and his wife something over my Europe trip on the way there, but with the luggage, and I didn't find anything that really made me want it for them, I guess. So I wanted to make them something. I think that's always nicer. And so I've made this. Oh, it comes out really great on camera. I'm really happy. Okay, this is a hand towel, and it has a I-cord hole. It is a free pattern by Purl Soho, and I've just made, like, it has a recommended size. It said for longer, but I think this is actually a really good size. Kind of matches with how much yarn I have left, and I've got another color. I'm going to make them 2 face cloths as well, and so this is the bamboo cotton by Motivera. It's 70% viscose and from bamboo and 30% cotton. It's a really nice yarn to work with. It's very slippery, very drapey, as you can see, and I think it'll be a really good washcloth, and I just love this pattern. I think it's so cool. Yeah, it looks beautiful, and so I'm going to make them matching little face towels as well, so they'll be only about this big, just some smaller ones to go with it. And it'll be a very belated wedding gift, but I'm happy that I can make them something. I think it's much nicer. So yeah, all the effort's gone into this, but I think it's quite beautiful, and I hope they'll really enjoy it. And I'll cast on the hand towels very shortly, and I'll make 2 of those for them as well, in the purple I'm thinking, or maybe 1 in purple and 1 in the blue, so that they can distinguish whose is whose. But I think this is a really nice present. It maybe for Christmas. It's a free pattern, so I think it's a really good one. It's affordable in terms of you're not making a jumper or anything like that. So I just had this in stash and wanted to put it to really good use. And so I want to make some for myself as well. I might have to go out and buy some more yarn that's of this style to make it another one, because I think it's awesome. But I think it's a really great gift. So thinking of Christmas, want to put this on your mind. It's a really beautiful pattern. Quite, yeah. Maybe I'm just going on and on about the same thing, but super happy with this one. And that is the last of my finished objects. I did have one whip, which I'm going to have to restart. It is these film socks, which look fantastic, but do not fit. My tension is too tight. I did go up, I think I was 2.5 or 2.25 millimeter needles. And then for the colourwork section, I went to 2.75 millimeter needles to hope that it would give it some more ease. It's not big enough. I mean, it doesn't even fit my foot. So it's not, and we tried it on, my boyfriend, but it doesn't fit him either. So yeah, gonna have to restart these, but I'm really happy with how it looks. He's happy too. It's just gonna take a little bit longer to make it for him, and we might have to do some more fit trials. And yeah, I couldn't keep it secret because I had to have him try it on, because it is way too small. So I've remeasured his foot, and I don't think the measuring was the problem, but my plan is to maybe do up one size, but also I'm going to use 2.5 millimeter needles and 3 millimeter needles. So 2.5 for just the regular stocking net sections, and 3 millimeter for the colourwork sections. And again, get looser. I was doing this on double point. Was I doing it on double pointed needles? I think I was switching between the shorties, the 2.25 millimeter shorty that I have, and maybe I was doing 2.5 millimeters. Yeah, actually I might have been doing 2.5 mil and 2.75. And I need a greater difference between them. So maybe I'll go up to 2.75 millimeter and 3.25 millimeter for the color work. I think that would maybe work better. I don't know. Thinking out loud, but then also go up one size. We need quite a bit of difference, and you can see here it's not very stretchy. And I think the magic loop is going to be actually a better method than using the double pointed needles. I'm finding that on my double pointed needles, I tend to get a bit more tense when I'm moving between the needles, and that's 4 times rather than 2. So yeah, I hate magic loop. It's not a favorite of mine, but I will have to suffer through it, I think, to get these done. So that is a semi whip that I'm gonna have to undo. Okay, so I mentioned that I'd do blouse number 1. I'm gonna use this here. So it's actually kind of 2 balls like rolled up into one, because I had to undo it at one point. So I'm gonna restart it, because my 5 millimeter needles broke as well, and I realized I'd made a mistake and just thought it'd be easier to restart the project. It is the same yarn as this one, so it's the 70% viscose from bamboo and 30% cotton. So that is my next project that will probably go onto the needles. Something else I'm going to finish up this week is something I haven't talked about in a long while, and with all the moving and I couldn't find it for a while, I am going to restart or finish up this shark pencil case so I can get it to my friend for Christmas. She's now 6 years old. She's in Germany and I spent Christmas with them last year. And I have this zip for the teeth. So it's gonna be lots of shark teeth when it's opened up. And I've still got to do the fins and the, I guess it would be the gills there, because then she'll have an Australian shark pencil case which to take to school. I think that'll be nice. So I've got to finish this one up as well. And those there's also something on my lap that I should probably finish as well. I haven't shared this one in a while. It is broomsticks from Harry Potter, and here you can see it's like the Quidditch pitch. This is for my sister. I am making her a pillow out of these from, there's Harry Potter, I wonder if I have it here somewhere, Harry Potter Knitting Magic Book. So it was a scarf, and then we decided, look, it's not going to fall that well as a scarf, and she's probably not going to wear it that much either, so I'm going to change it to be pillows for her. And this one I might redo. I think I spoke about this, but it was my first colourwork attempt, and I don't think it's very good. Maybe I should try block it first, see if it improves, but otherwise, or it's just a, you know, semi-dodgy one pillow. And the last one's going to be platform 9 3/4. Okay, last thing I have to show is I'm going to go get my acquisitions. So give me a second. So the last thing that I got, I found this website and they only had one yarn. The rest is like all about clothing and knits or socks and that sort of stuff from New Zealand wool. So I've got these 100%, I've never had a comb before, so this is really exciting. This 100% New Zealand lamb's wool. It's 1 kilo of wool, and I think I would probably estimate this at a DK weight. Yeah, it's this gorgeous navy, and it's maybe popping out a little bit brighter on camera. Yeah, and then I've got this cream as well. So I got 2 of these, and I think they go beautifully together. And I think I got them for $90 per kilo, which is an absolute bargain, I think. I hope that it's going to be really great quality. It feels beautiful quality, lamb's wool. I really want to make the, it's a pattern by Ventzal. I'll put up the photo here. Oh, it's the Robinia sweater. I've been drooling over that for a couple of years now, for maybe the past year and a half. And I think I finally will make it out of this. Something else I was thinking was I could probably make the petite knit Moby sweater. Is that the one that I wanted to make, or is it the other one? One of like a detailed sort of big oversized jumper with lots of pattern and cables and lots of things going on, and I could definitely do that out of this. If I won't use much of this for the Robinia sweater because it'll be the contrast and this will be the base, so I'll be able to make a sweater out of this one. I'm just excited for what I can get out of 2 kilos of yarn, and I was so tempted to think about, when I had it arrive, I was like, oh, I almost want to buy more, but I stopped myself because I should just use this first, and then if I need to or want to, repurchase from the supplier for wool. And I think this would be a really good base to dye even, or to try dyeing my wool, because I think this is undyed. It's just natural. It's labeled natural anyway, so that would be a pretty cool project to get into some dyeing and make a color that I'd really like as well. So that is another thought, but I'm excited what I can make from these. Something else, so that's my acquisitions, all my knitting stuff. There's 2 more things. Maybe I'll say I've been listening to some audiobooks recently, and I started listening, so I finished the knitting book that I spoke in my last podcast, and that was really good. Little bit of a surprise ending that I actually was shocked by, but it was a really nice book. It's called The Knitting Club, Friday Night Knitting Club, so I would recommend that. It's a good book, just nice, light reading. Then I started Jurassic Park after that. So I like listening to my audiobooks when I'm on the train or on the way to work while knitting. I think it's a good wind down method. And I started listening to Jurassic Park, and I'm a big dinosaur fan, so I was, almost guaranteed to like it. And it was fantastic. It was quite different from the movie, but there was a lot of inspirations, almost entire scenes that were directly from the book in the movie, which was cool. But ultimately it was quite different. And it was really good. Would recommend if you're a dinosaur fan. And after then I got recommended some other some books that became movies. And I was like, oh, okay, this has kind of opened up my horizon for books that have become movies. And the first one that it recommended was World War Z, and I love that film. I think it's Brad Pitt's best film. And I've started reading that, and I've got to say, it's 10 out of 10. It is a brilliant book. I would highly recommend it. It's not like the film. The zombies are different. But it's not following a character like Brad Pitt. It's actually a guy that's sort of doing stats on, or putting together sort of a recap of the dark years and the total war that they had in the zombie war and all that sort of stuff. And it follows, it picks a character for one, semi sort of mini chapter of theirs, and it's their experience. So it's all about, he's trying to share the human experience. The narrator doesn't get involved much. It's all about bringing the stories and just the voice of whoever is interviewing coming to life, and exploring different parts of the zombie apocalypse, whether it's political, military, civilian, and the lots of different elements that sort of the human stories that came out of it. It was, I'd highly recommend it. Anyway, great listen. It is a little bit spooky, but it's just so, I'm a very visual reader, so I'm basically imagining each scene, and it's fantastic. Anyway, quite a short episode, possibly because I was talking quickly, but I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got a little bit of knitting done, or you just got to get a little bit inspired by what I've made, hopefully. And yeah, I'm getting really excited for making some Christmas presents. I always leave it to the final hour, but I think I've been very busy with moving. But I'm starting to think about what I want to give for gifts this year, especially with the moving. I don't have much money, and it's something I like to do anyway, is gift from the heart and from, some effort being put in, and thoughts about what that person would like. So yeah, I'm hoping that the next month is going to be quite busy in terms of making, and I hope you're all well and getting excited for the Christmas season, or if you don't celebrate it, just getting excited for hopefully some December holidays coming up. I know I am. So I'll leave it here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.